Matt the Boat Rat here, doing Chief Blackbear's first live stream. Chief Blackbear is a relatively new channel. And on my other channels, Chief Blackbear has been drawing a lot of attention. And people are starting to wonder who Chief Blackbear is. I'm going to make this show reasonably short, and I'm glad you guys are here. Hi, Tamara. Had fun on the other show at the main channel. A bunch of trolls showed up, so I had to shut it down, but on this fun. So people don't understand quite who Chief Blackbear is, but for the most part, Chief Blackbear is the guy that does all the dirty work. Now, I spent 25 years of my life writing a book about Chief Blackbear, and you can buy it at Amazon or at my publishing company. You go to chiefblackbear.com, and it'll lead you to where you can buy the book, and you can learn about the Chief's heritage. Now, one thing when you're asking about who is Chief Blackbear, it depends on what year you're talking about, because there's been a Chief Blackbear ever since the 1800s all the way through today. And for the most part, Chief Blackbear is about as American as you can get. Actually, Chief Blackbear might be written about in the Bible. It talks about King of the West. And in this new Chief Blackbear becomes King of the West. It's not quite time travel in this Chief Blackbear. Now, Chief Blackbear does have his own spaceship, by the way. And he is about to shoot a golden asteroid down to Earth with it. And now Chief Blackbear is, he rescued Princess Diana back in the 90s, and they're still together here in Montecito, and they actually have kids together. And I'm writing a new Chief Blackbear book. And I know the Chief. I'm actually in the new book. And by the way, Chief Blackbear is Kennedy Jr., nor am I. And I'm not a Kennedy either. Everybody's always trying to accuse me of being a Kennedy. Sorry about the back stuff. I'm here live at Starbucks. Okay, Chief Blackbear and Dodi Al-Fayed do identity switching. Okay, I'm going to quickly show you a picture here, Tamara, because you're behind the times on the Chief Blackbear stuff. So this picture's specifically for you, Tamara, because I'm trying to fill you in on who Chief Blackbear is. Okay, Chief Blackbear and Dodi Al-Fayed switched IDs. Now, Chief Blackbear is a master of disguise, okay? Not John F. Kennedy Jr., by the way, but he's got 17 different disguises, and Dodi Al-Fayed is one of them. Now, the Chief can pull off Dodi Al-Fayed, but Dodi has trouble pulling off Chief Blackbear. Now, when Dodi dresses up like the Chief, it don't fool me, but when we put a turban on the Chief and stick him on a camel, he can pull it off. Okay. So this right here, Tamara, have you seen this picture before? See, this is Chief Blackbear and King of the West, if you can read the words there. Okay, so now what I got going on, Tamara and Wendy, is that Chief Blackbear switched up. Now, the chosen one, I don't even have to talk. Yeah, I need to stay in code still, okay? Now, the chosen one actually introduced the Chief to Princess Diana back in the 90s. Okay, Princess Diana came to the chosen one begging for help because they had a hit out on her. And John F. Kennedy Jr. came to the Chosen One begging for help because he had a hit out on him. And Michael Jackson, the same thing. Now, Michael Jackson was the Chosen One's babysitter back when the Chosen One's kids were young. The Chosen One have to go out and make money, and leave Michael Jackson in charge of the kids. But those three went to him for help. And John F. Kennedy Jr. is bros with Chief Blackbear. They're bros, okay? And the chief knows Michael Jackson too. Now, the Chosen One, Donald J. Trump, put the chief in charge of looking after Princess Diana back then in the 90s. And he switched IDs with Dodi Al-Fayed. He just put a mask on, and all of a sudden the chief's Dodi Al-Fayed. And so he saved Princess Diana, and then they fell in love after the fact. After the chief saved Princess Diana, they started out in Egypt and came here to Montecito, and they're still here actually. But they go back and forth to Egypt. And sometimes Dodi's around dressed up as the chief, but it don't work. He can't do it, man. He just can't act American enough. I mean, the chief's like as American as you can get. And he's got all the stories, all the heritage, everything cowboy, Indian, CIA, mafia. It's all a part of his heritage. I mean, the chief's the guy that runs the guns down to Cuba and brings back the alcohol and tobacco and sells it to the Seminoles. And that was his father doing that. And that's how he was born. And they actually took him away, when he was a baby, the government takes him away from his dad, and his dad has to kidnap him and stuff, disappear down in Costa Rica for a while. Which Prince? Prince, Michael Jackson's friend, Prince. Yeah, I think Prince might be alive. That Prince, yeah. A lot of these people are still alive, Tamara, and Prince may be one. But yeah, Prince may be alive. But many of these people are alive, and then many of the people that are supposed to be alive are actually dead. But with this new Chief Blackbear, he's set to become King of the West when Queen Elizabeth dies, because the chief is, I'm not sure if they're married, but together with Princess Diana. Now Elvis is gonna be the Pope, Tamara. See, Elvis is in the show, and he's gonna be Pope because the Pope is done. Queen Elizabeth is done. We're gonna get Princess Diana to be Queen Diana, and we're gonna get Elvis to be Pope. And when Queen Diana becomes Queen Diana, that's going to make Chief Blackbear King of the West. But then, Pope on a rope, Elvis Presley. Hey, man, when we get Elvis Presley in there at Pope, it's going to change the world, okay? Seriously, I'm serious about this. I'm telling you. And Tamara, do you know who Bob Joyce is, Tamara? What's up, P. Miller? P. Miller right there. Look, Tamara, do you know Bob Joyce? Now, P. Miller's an older subscriber who is familiar with Bob Joyce. P. Miller knows Bob Joyce for Pope. Yes, that's the story, P. Miller. Tamara, are you getting this? Look, that's the real Pope is done. The Chosen One took care of the Pope, okay? So we need a new Pope. P. Miller's on board with this, Tamara. I don't think you know who Bob Joyce is. Now, I know P. Miller knows who Bob Joyce is. And this is all in the new Chief Blackbear book. See, Chief Blackbear's the guy that makes all this happen. And of course, Chief and Elvis know each other. As a matter of fact, Marilyn Monroe's involved too. Of course, the Chief knows Marilyn Monroe. And by the way, there's supposed to be some wife swapping going on between Chief Blackbear and the Chosen One. I don't know if you're aware of that, Tamara, but the Chosen One, there might be some hanky-panky going on between the Chosen One and Queen Diana. Are you aware of that, P. Miller? P. Miller, I'm asking you, Wendy. Wendy, P. Miller, does anybody know that the Chosen One might have a thing going on with Princess Diana? Okay, let's get on with Princess Diana and the Chosen One, okay, P. Miller and Wendy? Are you aware that there might be something going on? Okay, P. Miller, yes. Okay, so, but wait a minute, I thought Chief Blackbear was Princess Diana's old man set to become King of the West. But now we're talking about the Chosen One having a thing going on with Princess Diana, right, P. Miller? Oh, Wendy didn't know that the Chosen One's got a thing going on with Princess Diana, and so does Chief Blackbear, huh? So what I'm seeing coming up is Chief Blackbear's got something going on with Melania Trump. What do you guys got to say about that? A little bit of wife swapping going on in this story. There you go. Order the book, Wendy. Hey, Melinda. So Melinda doesn't think the Chosen One ought to be arrested for putting together the the cover charge we need ID and $19 task force. Pete Miller, what about you? You think that the Chosen One should be arrested for putting together the cover charge where you need ID and $19 task force that caused at least 15,000 people to croak from putting that ugly thing on their face, and a bunch more to croak for sticking that thing in their arm? Now, Melinda does not think the Chosen One should be arrested, but I can make the case that he's responsible for putting together that task force that caused all those people to croak. I think the Gray Spirit's working through the Chosen One too. That's why he's the Chosen One, okay? I think that, but if I was Attorney General, I could make the case that the Chosen One's responsible for putting together the task force that caused all these people to croak. If I was the Attorney General, now I'm not suggesting the Attorney General is going to indict the Chosen One for putting together the task force, because I think the Attorney General probably supports the cover charge where you need ID and $19 task force. But the scarf lady was just arrested this last week, and they're looking for Fauci. And I'm saying if the scarf lady and Fauci are responsible, ain't it the Chosen One that put them to work? I don't know what you guys are talking about. Jared Kushner here. Now, I've stated in the past, Joni's not here in the chat room. I don't necessarily trust Jews in general. Yes, right, Peter, that's my point. The Chosen One can submit evidence to defend himself. Yes, I think the Chosen One should be held accountable for the way he handled the entire scamdemic. And well, I shouldn't be talking about running for mayor on this channel, but I will. When I run for mayor of Santa Barbara, I will hold like the the current mayor, Mayora Murillo, I will hold her responsible for buying into the scamdemic. I mean, a lot of these people, like all of them, believe the scamdemic was authentic. And I'm saying it's a scamdemic from the beginning, and that these people that bought into it should be held accountable. And I say hold the chosen one accountable for the way he handled the scamdemic. And if he's acquitted, he's acquitted. And by the way, Q has been acquitted. If anybody knows who Q is, which is Chief Blackbear. Okay, if you don't, my battery's going dead, so I have to wrap it up. So if you guys don't know this, Chief Blackbear is a huge part of the 17Q movement, okay? Chief Blackbear does all the Q dirty work. And he helps think it up, okay? Chief Blackbear is the dude that flooded the tunnels underneath the former capital of the United States. Chief Blackbear is the dude that caused the earthquakes that busted the Three Gorges Dam, flooded out them tunnels in China. Chief Blackbear is the dude that caused the tornadoes in the Denver airport. Chief Blackbear is the dude that caused the mudslide right here in Montecito. Well, let's put Kushner up there with his daddy-in-law and see what it's all about. Now, a lot of people are accusing the chosen one of being in the deep state, which he was. But the chosen one went rogue. But let him prove his loyalty to us, which he will. But he should still be held up there. I mean, the chosen one has this Kushner dude for a kid-in-law, right? And the kid-in-law is trying to influence his decisions. That's the way it goes. Yeah, Chief Blackbear's bros with at least Field McConnell. Yeah, Chief Blackbear knows all them guys, of course. But Chief Blackbear's in with like everybody, but he's up really, really high. I mean, he's the guy that actually hacked the autopilot on Evergreen Ever Given. Like Gene Decode, he can't go hacking, autopilot on a Evergreen Ever Given ship and causing it to cross up and get busted with everything on board that nobody will talk about. I mean, Gene Decode, he can't go busting off the largest iceberg in world history off Antarctica. See how Chief Blackbear just set off them alarms? Gene Decode can't do that. You heard the alarm in the background, right? Chief Blackbear just set that off with his vibes. Gene Decode can't do that. You need to know the Chief. He's a good guy, man. I know him. I love the Chief. He's cool. But he's not as nice as he's supposed to be, and he don't always do what he's told. See, the chosen one, okay, like I said, Chief Blackbear is corn gone rogue, okay? He was, I would play it for you. I'll play it on the next one. You can't listen. If you go to the book, Chief Blackbear's done an audio for free. If you don't want to wait on the book, just go to chiefblackbear.com and listen to it for free. I paid an actor to read it. But if you go to, just go to Chief Blackbear and listen. Well, you can listen to the prologue right here on this channel. It's entirely uploaded. And it'll give you the lowdown of his history. But, you get to see how the CIA is tied in. But see, Chief Blackbear was born from the CIA. He is CIA planted corn. That's what Chief Blackbear is. He's all American. He's a CIA. Well, he's rogue though, and his dad was rogue, but his mom was CIA. Chief Blackbear's mom was CIA and was down in Cuba, and they took guns down to Fidel Castro. Chief Blackbear's mom and dad both. Okay, so he's a CIA, and his dad stole him back. The CIA, the Child Protective Services, they took him from his dad when he was a baby after they killed his mom, and his dad stole him back, took him down to Costa Rica and raised him. But he's as CIA farm raised corn gone rogue as you can get. But anyways, you guys, yeah, he's a rebel, all right. But I'm gonna go ahead and close it out. I just want, this is the first Chief Blackbear live stream, and I'll be doing some more. And just watch for Chief Blackbear to like take over the internet. You watch, he's gonna take over YouTube. By the way, the Chosen One and the military took over YouTube, or the entire internet, the entire media in February. I forget the date in February, but I did the play-by-play live then as it happened. And that's why I say when I get deleted for talking smack about the Chosen One, that it's the Chosen One that deletes me, man. It ain't the deep staters. It's the Chosen One deleting me because I'm talking about holding him accountable for that stupid freaking task force. I don't mean it this. I think he could acquit himself. Like if he were to stand up, he'd be acquitted. But I think that the Chosen One's actions, he should be held accountable for his actions, and I think that he'll be exonerated and justified. But he is responsible for the cover charge where you need ID and a $19 task force. And what a fiasco that is. Chief Blackbear ain't a part of that, though. Chief Blackbear opposes all that. I mean, I guarantee the chief ain't wearing a mask. Oh, that word's a bad word to say. I'm not that good about talking in code. The chief ain't wearing no ugly thing on his face. He might be wearing a headband with feathers and abalone, and not abalone, excuse me, abalone. Abalone's shell in the headband. And he's got feathers that Joe Walsh gave him. Joe Walsh from the band The Eagles. He lives right here. He used to live here, hang out with the chief. And Joe Walsh gave him the eagle feathers that he wears down. She's got pretty long hair, but it's all gray, mostly gray, black and gray. But he wears a leather headband with abalone in it, and then eagle feathers. He's a local here, sort of, but he's everywhere. He's up in Egypt. I don't even know where he is anymore. Somewhere with Princess Diana. But anyways, you guys, I enjoyed having you here, and have a good night. And I'll be back soon with some more broadcasts about the chief. My battery's about to go dead now. But Tamara, please erase that word there. You did, thank you. Thank you. Yeah, thank you, Tamara. Don't ever say that word on our shows because is Don Henry in something wicked? Because Don Henry was in the Eagles too. But Joe Walsh is in the Eagles, and he's here in Montecito, as is the chief and me. And Joe Walsh gives the chief his feather from Santa Cruz Island because that's where we got Eagles, is out there on the islands. And Joe Walsh is big on the islands here. I don't know what you guys know about the islands here in Santa Barbara, but it's a real good thing. Anyways, you guys, I'm going to close it out, get some food. Have a good night.